it's too late for you to say that real estate doesn't work. And so L is for leverage. And this is the most leveraged business that I know of, because you can buy a house with absolutely no money, no credit. And you need, and I shared with you, those of you who came to my other sessions, that I said that in order to make money, the biggest lie ever propagated, that it takes money to make money. It doesn't take money to make money. What it really takes is three things. It takes, number one, a burning desire. And I say that, show me how bad you want it, and I'll show you a successful person. Show me how bad you want it, and I'll show you a successful person. Number two, what you really need to make money is specialized knowledge. Specialized knowledge is why people pay you money, because you have certain specialized knowledge. If you're a designer, if you're an architect, if you're any professional, they go out and grab special knowledge. And same thing in real estate. If you tell the average person that they can buy a house with no money, no credit, they almost don't even believe that. Would you agree? And then you and I are buying houses like that every single day. Every single day. Without using, you're making money, buying houses, and the simplest way, those who don't understand that how you make money in real estate without your cash or credit or anything, you can simply buy a house, meaning that you put a house under contract. This is the simplest form. If you buy a house, if the house is worth $100,000 and you got it under contract for $65,000, can you assign the contract for $5,000 more to someone else?
Yes.
And did you need money? Did you need credit? You just need to fog a what? Mirror. If you can fog a mirror, you can do that deal. And I'm telling you how, right there today, one of the buying strategies that I have is I go to my MLS and I just take 100 properties with certain criteria in my things that give me all the properties that are $50,000 or less. If there's 500 of them that show up, I said then all the properties $50,000 or less that is been on the market for 180 days. All of a sudden, if it goes only 75, then I said, okay, 120 days. Until it goes to 100. Once I get 100, I don't care what the price of the house is, I make blind offers of 55, 60, 65, somewhere between 55 and 65. Pick it, whatever I feel like it. I just make blind offers, and somebody out there is going to accept that offer.
Now, to put a house under contract, don't you put even earnest money, 3%?
If you, $10.
So it does take a little bit of money, even $1 to make money.
And again, I can also tell you that the money, that consideration, that dollar, and when I say take doesn't take money, the real question is, does it have to be your $10?
No.
So if it doesn't have to be your $10, does it have to be your $10,000? So if you want to, all you have to have is a burning desire. Show me how bad you want it, and I will show you a successful person. Because, as a matter of fact, one of my mentors told me that if you cannot make money without money, you won't be able to make money with money. If you cannot make money without money, you won't be able to make money with money. Because what he meant saying that you're going to lose money. Without money, you have to be creative. It forces you to be creative to do it. So this is the leverage, and what I love about it is ideal because anyone can do it. Anyone can do it, and I just gave you two simple ways to make money, and there are so many other ways. And we're going to cover some of those on my 3-day boot camp, July 24th, 25th, 26th. And this time we're doing it because we have people all the way in Southern California, so I'm doing it in Costa Mesa area, so that people from San Diego, Orange County, and LA, and Santa Barbara, they can all come. So that's the central point for doing that. We're going to share with you exactly how you can buy those houses, and not just junker houses. The house that I have right now is a $2.7 million house, and I bought it with no money, no credit. I was sharing with somebody asked me, and so I don't have this, but simply the multi-million dollar houses. The question is, do rich people get in trouble? Yeah. Not only do they get in trouble, their troubles have more zeros in them. Their troubles have more zeros in them. And It's a lot easier to get a $500,000 discount on a $2 million house than to get a $50,000 discount on a $100,000 house. So you can make hundreds of thousands of dollars. It takes the same amount of time to write that contract. It takes the same amount of time to do the drive-bys and all of the things that we do. It costs the same. If you're doing marketing, luxury marketing, it's the same amount of stamp that costs to do the luxury marketing or this one. So it's finding a niche and staying with that niche. And you can do this real estate business part or full-time. That's the beauty of it. You can do this part or full-time, but here's the thing. You can make money in real estate part-time, but not sometime. You can make money in real estate part-time. If you're organized, you can make more money part-time than people can working full-time, but not sometime, meaning that sometime I feel like working, sometime I don't feel like working, sometime I want to do this, sometime I don't want to do this. No. If you say I'm going to work 20 hours a week on real estate, you put 20 hours a week and you can make money. But not 1 hour this week and then 40 hour, 39 hour next week. Inconsistent, and then next week 2 weeks off. It doesn't work. If you want to build a business, that is. So the 5 fundamentals of real estate. If you want to talk about real estate, these are the 5 fundamentals of real estate. Number 1 is finding it. Number 2 is funding it. After you find it, you have to fund it. Then number 3 is fixing it. You find it, you fund it, you fix it, and then you flip it. And if you don't want to flip it, you can flow it, as in cash flow it. So find, fund, fix, flip, or flow. Find, fund, fix, flip, or flow. Anything you want to talk about real estate will fall into one of these 5 categories. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah? Anything you want to talk about, it's one of those 5 things will fall into this category. And so the question that I ask is that of these 5, which one is the hardest? Find, fund, fix, flip, or flow? Fine, because I'm preaching to the choir. You know that in real estate, investing that is, finding is the hardest. And when I talk about being a real estate investing business, I'm not talking about somebody going to MLS and buying houses. So you don't need any one of us. You can just call your realtor, buy thousands of properties because they're there. But you want to pay full price. We're talking about finding a deal. We're talking about finding a deal. And finding a deal is the hardest. And money always follows the deal. Money always follows the deal. If money is not following you and you have a deal, that means you think you have a deal, you really don't have a deal. Because if you have a deal, money will find you. Multiple money sources will find you. I promise you that. And if you don't know, there's someone standing right before you, and there will be my partner coming up also, that we will fund it if you find a deal. More money out there than looking for deals than the other way around. So you need to become good at finding deals. And so today what we're going to do is I'm not going to teach you all of these things. This is not the event for doing that. What we're going to talk about today is a turnkey real estate bank REO, investing business. And for the first time, you can play like the big boys, courtesy of my partners, that they have been able to create this game for my students, and that has never been done before. That has never been done before, meaning that when I first told you that I'm playing this game very differently this time going around than the last time, my philosophy now is go big or go home. Go big or go home. And go big for you, meaning that if you're buying, 1 house a year, then buy 10 houses a year. If you're doing 1 house a month, buy 10 houses a month. I've already done 10, 20, 30 houses a month. This time I want to buy 100, if not thousands of houses a month. That for me is my next level. Are you with me? Okay. You don't have to go from nothing to 1,000, nothing to 100. Because if you've never bought a house, your goal is to get started buying your first house. That's a very big leap for you already. But get the thing fast. If somebody buys 1 house a year, at the end of 10 years, how many houses will they have? 10. If I come back on the 11th year, and instead of buying 1 house a year, I start buying 1 house a month, how many houses will I have by the end of the first year? 12. And they will be 11th year, and they'll have how many houses? 11. Because if they're 11th year, they buy one house a year. Who is ahead? I mean, the other guy can say legally, morally, ethically that they have 11 years of experience in real estate. Am I correct? But you came in, well, you have 1 year of experience, but you got 12 houses the first year. And that took them 11 years to buy 11 houses. Because nothing happened in between the houses. The guy did 10, 12 a year will have more experience because he's just learning and growing much faster. So we're going to show you how you can do, if finding houses, finding deals is the hardest thing. And I'm going to show you it's better to learn 10 ways to find a property than 1 way to find 10. Because if that 1 way doesn't work, then you're out of business. Are you with me? So don't be a one-trick pony. Know different ways, but today their specialty is bank REO as one source. But this is such a insider business, meaning that none of the little boys, little guys, you and me have even a prayer of getting to the source. And I've tried that since 2008, 2009. I had 2 people in my office I hired to do nothing but find bulk REO deals. And every time I found somebody, I think they were the guy, they were the middleman. It was like a daisy chain. It was a daisy chain, and I lost time, I lost money, and finally I gave up. I said, you know what? It's much easier the way I buy a house. I go put 100 bandit signs, I buy a house. And I make, $10,000, $20,000. If I rehab it, I make more. Anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000 on a flip, I make. And this is I did in 1999 when I started, and this is I'm doing today. With all these thousands of houses that I'm buying, I have not stopped doing that. In my house right now, I have 4 interns. One of them is my nephew and a friend. They're there, and I told them that I'm going to teach them how to make money with no money. I bought the bandit signs for them, and I told them, if you don't have money to buy bandit signs, I can show you how to do that with literally no money, but bandit signs will do it. They put out 100 bandit signs, and I buy a house. And one of the 4 did that, bought a duplex 2 weeks ago for $5,000. A concrete block duplex for $5,000. It's valued about $74,000, $75,000 fixed up in Tampa. Do you think she'll make money? Yes. She's so excited that she'll make more money on this thing. Can she flip it and make $20,000, $30,000? Yes. And if she fixes it up, she can make even more money. But I don't want her to touch it. So you can do that. But today, all of those things, finding, right now there's a gravy train in front of you. And all of you don't even spend half money with this marketing. I can bring it to you in a silver platter. And this is what today's all about. And this came about because of, I said I couldn't find the source. So finally, a friend of mine sent me a tape last year and said, hey, here's a tape, you're in real estate. And I knew that it was not him, because he was not even in real estate. So he just sent me in with his markup. So I said, I don't mind, but I want to know I have some questions. I said, where did you get it? So he said, this guy from Jackson Hole, Wyoming. So I called that guy. And I immediately knew that I'd asked some question, and I knew that he didn't have the answer. I said, he's not the guy. So I said, please, I'm not trying to bypass you. I just want to ask my questions. Where did you get it? Because the way I just confronted him, he knew that I knew that he's not the guy. And I said, really, I promise you, I'm not trying to bypass you. I just want my questions answered because you cannot answer my questions. He said, this guy in Oregon. By the time I went to Oregon, spoke to this guy, and realized he's not the guy. By the time I said, oh no. All that bad memory came back. I said, you know what, I'm not doing this. I can make money a lot easier when this is just too much. And I gave up. But my friend didn't, and he followed through, and finally he came back 2 months later and called me back and said, I found the source. I said, are you sure? It's the source. My definition of source, the guy who writes a check to the bank. That's the guy I'm looking for. And he goes, yes. I said, where is he? He goes, he lives in Tampa. I said, it's a sign from. So I immediately picked up the phone, and this time I said, forget about it. I said, may I have the privilege of taking you out to lunch? And I said, I can not only talk to him, I can actually touch him. I went to lunch with him and I said, we're not worthy. I said, this is what I've been trying to do for years and years and years. I couldn't get to the source, and you somehow got to it. This is done. So, I tell two things. If you want to become successful in life, write this down. Take successful people out to lunch. If you want to become successful in life, take successful people out to lunch. I have taken billionaires out to lunch. I've taken multi-millionaires out to lunch. I've taken mayors of cities out to lunch. I've taken authors. I'm reading a magazine, an article. I fell in love with the article. I found out who the author, where they live, and I took them out to lunch. And in a way, my career started with that one success principle, because the very first seminar I remember after school I went to, and the speaker said that if you want to become successful, and at that time I was so broke, he goes, take successful people out to lunch. I raised my hand. I said, if they're so successful, should they take me out to lunch? He looked at me, he goes,